Good afternoon, everyone. I made a promise that I would provide regular updates on our search for a new rabbi and our plans for moving the congregation forward in the event we have not found the right candidate. This will be my next installment on making good on that promise. So we can provide multiple viewpoints, Damien will address the congregation next week with Leslie the following week. If you remember my last video and Tekiah article, I touched on the fact that we may not have a rabbi in place once Rabbi Katapan leaves on June 30. We will continue our search, but the reality of a very small pool of rabbinical candidates suggests we may not have a new rabbi in place at all for the 2024-25 fiscal year. I've said many times we will not panic and we will not settle. We will wait for just the right person. I continue to network with presidents of similar-sized congregations across the country who are in the same position we will be in and what they're doing to keep their congregations engaged and connected and some for over 2 years. Not only are they surviving, but most are thriving thanks to creative services with strong lay leaders and ensuring that life cycle events will continue as needed with help from their community and other resources. We are prepared and are ready with plans in place to do just the same thing. We will continue to have Shabbat and high holiday services, religious school, life cycle events, and will work to grow the congregation and continue to be a large part of the Kansas City Jewish community. Do we have problems other than our difficulties finding the right spiritual leader? Yes, we do. The Finance Committee has spent the last few months cobbling together a budget that is both fiscally responsible yet offers the level of services to make it worth being a dues-paying member of Beth Torah. As I've said before, we have a strong balance sheet. That's not the issue. We have cash flow problems. We struggle from month to month to give the irregularity of the dues cycle and when payments come in. The Board of Trustees has not approved the new budget yet. That will happen next month. Spoiler alert, it's not pretty. In fact, it's pretty darn ugly. The simple fact is we do not take in enough money to meet our needs most months. We continue to draw from our reserves to cover our expenses. That's not sustainable. I learned a long time ago, never present a problem without also offering a plan to cure that problem. The simple, naive answer is we need to make more money by increasing membership and active fundraising. Much easier said than done. Congregation membership has declined for every synagogue in the Kansas City area as it has across the country for a variety of reasons. Fundraising at Beth Torah is difficult because we do not have the large endowments and we no longer have the generational large donors that the other congregations have. This year, we will not be raising dues, changing the dues structure, or when and how dues are paid. That will happen next year. A large percentage of our congregation is given a very steep membership discount. Most of these arrangements have been on the books for years with no review or oversight. We don't know if their problems were COVID-related, a rough patch, or a permanent setback. This year, every arrangement will be reviewed, and if you are one of the families receiving a discounted rate, you will need to make an appointment with Damien to discuss your situation in a confidential one-on-one meeting if that arrangement is to be continued. Those private conversations will need to start now in order to take effect for this fiscal year. Just changing those that no longer need to have their dues adjusted will have a major impact on our bottom line. Please be assured that financing will never stand in the way of anyone's ability to belong to Beth Torah. For those truly in need, it's a mitzvah that we will gladly continue to honor. Cemetery plots. Mount Myer has raised the cost of their burial plots to over $4,000 each. Our price is about $2,500 each and has been that way for many, many years. On July 1, our prices will go up close to the Mount Myer rates. However, the board has not set the new final price. We'll be running a plots and plaques special with details to be announced very shortly. Buy a plot, get a memorial plaque at a reduced rate. Do the math. If only 10 couples purchase their burial plot over the next 3.5 months, that's $50,000 to the bottom line. We have close to 100 plots in the Beth Torah section, plus another section for Jewish non-members. Non-member prices are about $3,500 each, and those will be going up on July 1 as well, and we will also be marketing those to the Jewish community. We're going to reintroduce our legacy gifting program, carve out a portion of your estate, life insurance, 401k, and other investments, and make Beth Torah a secondary or tertiary beneficiary, only 10 to 20% of your total portfolio. These are not fun or sexy solutions, but they cost little, are easy to implement, and will make a world of difference in our finances now and into the future. We're also looking at several fun fundraisers like a Las Vegas night after the holidays, the Beth Torah cookbook, advertising in the Tekiah, or on the TV in the Ulam, and more on the drawing board. Last but certainly not least, get involved. Chair a committee, plan a program that fits your passion. There are lots of ideas floating around, but we end up seeing the same people over and over for every project or call for help. It's time for others to stand up. Many hands make for easy lifting. Let's look at this another way. If you go down to your basement, you'll see a number of pillars that support the house. You see many because one or two cannot hold up the entire house. Over time, the pillars will weaken from the weight, the floor joists will fail, and the house will collapse. However, you should be seeing many space throughout the basement because that will diffuse the weight among many and provide for a strong and stable foundation that will easily hold the house up for decades. 2.5 years ago, the board started looking at every corner of Beth Torah and how we do business. We realized that many changes needed to be made in order for us to continue to be a strong and viable congregation. I have to tell you, this has been a very, very long, time-consuming, difficult process. Last year, most of my Tekiah articles, videos, and my high holiday address, I talked about change and how difficult it is to take that first step. Once you realize it's finally time, you know that in order to have the life you want and the life you deserve, those changes needed to happen. Well, here we are. We're heading into uncertain times, but we will go through this if we all remember. One congregation, one voice. From the Board of Trustees to the staff to every member of this congregation, together we will continue to be the community we need. Together we will build something that will grow and thrive for generations. And together we will continue to build the new Beth Torah. Until next time, thank you.